How's it going? I'm Ryan, and today I'm going to go over the two trades that I took on SPY and the one trade that I took on QQQ. The two trades on SPY were both winners. One trade on QQQ is a small loser. We'll jump into those, but just taking a look at the daily time frame here on SPY. I'm not going to go through each level, but you can kind of see where these are derived from. Essentially, we're looking at swing highs, swing lows. We're looking at areas where we found multiple days of support or resistance. And yeah, that's we won't go into every single level there. Similarly here, you can kind of see on the hourly chart what we're charting, right? We're charting these ranges that we're in. We're charting highs, we're charting swing lows. And then from yesterday's price action, we had the high and the low of yesterday, as well as the pre-market high here, and this resistance that was the high of yesterday, as well as a swing high in the pre-market there. Happened to reject off that level exactly off the pump from the FOMC interest rate decision. Kind of pumped up to this point, rejected off that trend line pretty strong. So I did not catch that. That was later in the day. That would have been an insane move. I probably should have just waited today, not traded anything in the morning, and caught that because oh my. But before we take a look at SPY, actually I do want to take a look at QQQ because my first trade of the day was on QQQ. So we'll do the same thing here. We're looking at daily time frame. We can see kind of some levels that we were watching. We had a big gap in here where we didn't have many levels to watch, so now we at least have some price action there to go off of. Similarly, I'm not going to go over every level. We had the high and low from yesterday. We had the high and the low from the pre-market. And then we had this level here, this 421.1. The first trade that I took was on QQQ, and it was a loser. It should have been a winning trade. It was not, however. So the first trade that I took was puts right in here. Reason being, and I'll bring up the 2-minute chart as well. But in the morning, we were holding this level, broke through it with some a big bearish engulfing candle. Came up, retested it, looked a little weak, and I took puts in here. The reason why this was a loss, as you can see, we did drop down to that pre-market low. The trade should have worked out. I just got a really bad fill. Today was, in terms of my trading, I don't know, today was a little funky. I don't think I performed as well as I should have. For example, we'll take a look at this trade on the 2-minute here. When we came up and started retesting this area, I took a single contract here. So I took a contract like on this candle. Ideally, I would have taken it towards the top, right? You want to take, at least I want to take my contracts, get my fills close to where I would stop out, or at least like as close as I can, so that I have a good fill. And if I do get stopped out, that loss is minimalized. If I do get a winning trade, that win is maximized, right? Because we have, we're looking for essentially the best fill that we can get. Once I saw us rejecting off this area, with the weakness that we were showing, I was targeting that pre-market low, and I bought my put in here. So premium was already higher than I would like, and this push up here stopped me out. It shouldn't have. I tried to cancel my stop loss that I had in place as I saw us kind of pushing up and rejecting in here. I didn't think that we were going to continue to move up, and so I actually tried to cancel the stop loss that I had in place. Didn't get it quick enough, and was stopped out just by a few cents before we actually got the move. So that's a little bit frustrating. That was my first trade of the day. Reason being, it was bad. I got a bad entry. I got FOMO, I assume, and didn't want to miss this move. I thought we were going to continue this weakness down. So I got a bad fill, bad stop. It was just ugly. Bad execution on this one. I probably shouldn't have been taking this trade in the first place, right? Because we didn't have, it wasn't at a level that I was watching, but the trade was still valid. I mean, we had this area that we were holding in the morning, broke through, came up and retested it, and you can see that retest and that sell off. So idea was there, execution wasn't, and that was my first trade of the day, and my only trade on QQQ, which was luckily a small loss, but shouldn't have been a loss. That should have been a winning trade. We'll jump over to SPY because the rest of my trades were on SPY, and the rest of my trades were 2 wins. So we'll take a look. On SPY, same thing. Looked pretty weak. We were dumping. I was looking for a rejection on either this level or this level. I did not get in there. I wish I did, because that was essentially the top, and we dropped multiple dollar, about $3 from there. So crazy move, crazy move. But once we had this weakness in the market, I was looking for to capitalize on a move to the downside. So the trade that I took, very similar to the one that I tried on SPY, but it was a break and retest of support. So in between levels here, and once again, probably, you know, should try to avoid taking trades in between levels, but this was looking at intraday price action and going off of the overall trend, I assume. So we had this support here for however many minutes. We had about, you know, a solid 30 minutes or so where this level was not being broken. We broke it on increasing volume. You see that volume really jump up. We come up and push to retest this, and you see these long upper wicks with declining volume on the retest. So higher volume break of support, lower volume push up and retest. Pretty nice setup. Took 2 puts here. I trimmed one when we came down towards this low a day, and I trimmed my next when we hit 487. I was trading 487 puts here, same day expiration. So I really just wanted to see those get to that point. You know, obviously would have liked to hold both contracts to here, but I always want to de-risk when we are, you know, we had 2 candles in a row here where we were bouncing off that low of day that we saw a lot of volume, and although a quite small bounce, we did see a bounce there. So took one position off there, and then held one for the trim there. Now, a better move maybe would have been to trim my first here and then hold a runner at that point. You know, we hit my next level down here at 486.5. So that was a really nice move, and didn't quite capture the whole move, but that trade was my nicest trade of the day, getting this retest of a broken level. So at this point, I was up in the day. Contracts were pretty expensive with all the IV and everything from the FOMC happening today. Premiums are pretty juiced up. So the last trade that I took was a single contract, and I took calls. I took 488 calls on the retest of this 487 once we had kind of formed double bottom here. See, we formed a double bottom, came up, reclaimed this level, and held it on the 2 minute for a couple minutes in a row. And that's where I took calls. I took a single call. You can also take a look at this on the 5 minute as well here. So take a look at that first trade, so you can see, you know, an area in here that we were holding. We got that high volume break, came up, retest, long upper wicks on both the 2 minute and the 5 minute, both look pretty weak. So that's where that trade came from. Obviously that moved down, like I said, didn't capture all of it, but we got a decent chunk. Formed a bit of a double bottom here, came up. We're looking pretty bullish, right? We had increasing volume here as we broke above and reclaimed 487. We had these long upper wicks. We were closing bullish. We were closing hammer candles. So I took a single call here, and my target was 487.5. Like right? Oh my gosh, pretty much near the top. I don't think I actually got the full move. So we can take a look at it on the 2 minute. I think it's a bit clearer. Why was I targeting 0.5? Because it was this area right in here that we had all this consolidation, right? We kind of chopped around, broke through, and then held this area before we broke again. So I was just looking at kind of this price action in here where we were rejecting previously. And that was my target. So got a call on the retest 487 after we held it for a 2 minute candle here. We closed above it on the 5 minute. We were looking pretty bullish on both time frames. We had the increase in volume on the break and hold. So felt good about that. We're also above the 9 EMA at this point. So the 9 EMA was resting right at that 487 level. So that was just kind of an additional indicator, or, you know, reason to believe that this would at least get a decent little pop out of that area, because we had been downtrending and pretty much stuck below that 9 EMA all day. We formed a double bottom, broke above a key level, broke above the EMA. So a lot of things kind of influencing this trade. We didn't get a big pop. We got a little 50-cent move. That was enough for me I took one contract there. The contract did not move very well at all. Yeah, the premium was really not moving. So once we got up towards my target, I took my profit, and I was not looking to hold that very long because even with this move, about a 50-cent move, I wasn't even up 20%. So it was like 10, I think a little 10, 12%, something like that. So contracts were not really moving very well at this point. So was just looking for a scalp essentially, and that was my last trade of the day. So that's all I got for you. We can take a look at how the rest of the day played out. I wish I traded FOMC. I wish I ignored this mess. Maybe take that initial rejection, but ignored this mess and watched for some the FOMC, because we did come up and test that trend line pretty perfectly, making a nice reversal, and from there drop, and you can kind of see how we move level to level, right? So decent price action. I think any day that you have interest rate decisions or Jerome Powell speaking, you're going to have some implied volatility jacked up. You're going to have some premiums pretty expensive. You might get some chop or something while people are waiting for the news. So we did get some nice moves today. Was able to come back positive after a small loser yesterday. Pretty small green day overall for me because I did take that initial loss. And my only real nice win was this puts on that rejection there. But can't complain. We had 2 winning trades, 1 losing trade. I'll take that percentage any day. And we're just continuing to, day by day, try to piece it together. That's all I have for you. Thank you for watching. I do trade live every Monday through Friday, so we'll be here for the remainder of this week. Stop by if you feel so inclined. I'd love to have you. That's all. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching. Peace.